Hello everyone, it's been a while, and I wonder what I've missed since my last video. Could be worse. Since that time, my life has had a few ups and downs, which evaporated my desire to make videos, but during that time, I got into something. Something shameful. Something deceitful. Warhammer 40,000. Some would say a cool hobby. I'd say more like an addiction. Come on man, I just need one more man. I know I have hundreds of unfinished minis, but I just need one more. But in this year's video, I shall briefly discuss what is the universe of Warhammer 40,000. Yay, how original. And then my slow slippery descent into this hobby, as well as talk about the channel and its possible futures towards the end of the video. So join me in this personal story of my journey into the hobby and world of Warhammer 40,000. So where to begin? Many say to look at the start of 40k, you must look back 65 million years ago to the time of dinosaurs, and the most horrific war in the entirety of the setting, between the ancient Necrons with their gods of reality, the Catan, against the Old Ones, bringers of life, with their creations, the Eldar and the Krorks, known as the War in Heaven. Ending with the Old Ones' genocide, the Catan being imprisoned by the Necrons before going into stasis, leaving the galaxy to be inherited by the Eldar and the Krorks. But no, some would say the beginning is the Unification Wars and later the Great Crusade, leading to the Horus Heresy, concluding in Horus, favoured son of the Emperor, killing his once beloved brother Sanguinius before being killed by his father. However, before the final blow could be struck, Horus mortally wounded the Emperor, leaving him in his current state on the Golden Throne for the last 10,000 years. But no, the beginning of 40k, you have to look somewhere worse. The UK in the 80s. For a company named James and his workshop, get it? Get it? To describe the 80s in the UK, I'll use a sophisticated way of putting it. A shit show. A lot of political movements and cultural movements at the time would help lay a soft foundation for the 40k lore to be built off of. And since then, there have been too many fucking books. Not complaining. So many miniatures, and of July 2023, 10 editions of the tabletop game, where you collect, build, and paint an army of your choice, and there's a lot of fucking choice, before finding someone else foolish enough to follow you down this rabbit hole, and battle against them and their army that they've collected, built, and paint as well. As nerdy as it sounds, it's actually a lot of fun.
Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5 hits. Okay, I'm gonna roll my saving throw, which is 3+.
What in the actual f*** are you guys doing?
It's a long and learning process, don't forget the funds, but you come out with a new sense of pride and reward in these little guys you put so much creative effort into, and that, my friends, can be addictive. So before my descent into this thick universe of Warhammer 40,000, what did I know about the setting before my descension? Well, I knew of it by just being on the internet, seeing memes, people mention it, the occasional game trailer, and so on. I never really knew what it was other than blood for the blood god, for the emperor, space marines, and the Obamacrons, can't forget about them. And my first impression was, okay, bit weird, and moved on with my day. I distinctly remember seeing the game cover of Space Marine years ago and seeing an orc and thinking it was a fantasy game, which is a genre I struggled to get into, but my silly brain didn't realise it was space fantasy, and that would catch my attention. Regular fantasy with spells and magic. Nah, space fantasy with space guns and space magic. But as you can see, I didn't really understand much. But then I played my first 40k game. Now, you're probably thinking, which game was it? Was it Space Marine, the poster child for games in the universe? No. Was it Mechanicus, one of the games that just oozes 40k with that baller soundtrack? No, it was Deathwing Space Hulk, which if I'm honest, is a fun game, especially with friends, even if it's lacking a bit of depth and content in my opinion. But I played that with a couple of my friends years ago, and it planted the seed of my future hobby, as by nature I am a curious person. Some would say down to a fault. I am one of those people who have seen many things I did not need to see in my life, but the game had me curious. What are these things I'm fighting? What is a Space Hulk? Why do these guys talk about the Emperor like he's ever going to respond to their DMs? It had me curious, so I did the natural thing and looked it up on YouTube. And that's where I saw a video from Luton, a very popular Warhammer channel which I probably don't need to explain. And I watched a few of his videos, and partway through I realised my attention span was that of a kid on TikTok. If only he had Subway Surfers on the side. And there my efforts into 40k stop. For now, I'm not making this fucking video because I only watched 2 videos. Now what do I look like, a crook to you? But to sum up what I learned that I did find interesting. 1. The universe is dark and depressing. Some of you might have picked up on due to my other videos topics. 2. The Emperor is kind of a dick. And 3. The thing known as a hive city, and some other stuff. But that's as much as I delved into the universe for I think about 3 years, until I took a wrong turn and found myself on a slope that is slippery, known as YouTube recommended. So remember the fun that was 2020 and 2021? Yeah, I do. Almost like I couldn't bring myself to make any more videos. It was that fun. Anyways, enough about me, and back on to me. So I believe it was around about November or December of 2021. Oh look, right after that project, I would stumble across a video of a man, or more accurate, a brick. Every Warhammer 40k faction explained. And my brain had some whisper of a voice deep down in my darkest parts going, oh, that looks interesting. Oh cool, there's a part 2. And then it struck me. While watching the video, I could feel an uneasiness that I was actually becoming a fan of Warhammer. It sickened me. How was I going to tell people? How could I live with myself? I am a fan of Warhammer 40,000 now.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool and all, but you still have the fraction of an IQ of the average Rick and Morty fan. Bye.
It was truly a dark time for me. But I was hooked. And like the ruinous powers, I was going to corrupt people to my cause. Which was slow at first. Hey, watch this video. To a bit more persuasive, watch this video, I have a gun. But like that one Egyptian god, I had been corrupted, and it was all downhill from here. The fall had begun. I was watching lore videos and talking to friends about all the new interesting Warhammer facts I was learning, and most of the time they acted like disappointed parents and just nodded along. However, some things like orc colour theory got their attention, because orcs are the best. It got to the point where even me and a friend decided to dip a toe into hell itself and visit a Warhammer store. So as we entered, the demons of the deep approached us and tried to bewitch us into buying their soul-costing product. In actuality, they were very nice and let us ask a lot of stupid questions that I wouldn't have the patience for. But looking at the boxes, seeing all the cool painted minis, I was still unsure. Was I going to commit my soul into eternal damnation? No, I didn't. I don't remember the specifics of why I didn't pick anything up that day, but I believe I just wanted to see it out of curiosity more than anything. So yes, I went to the Heart of Chaos and rejected their promises for me, and I guess that's the end of the story. No, it's not. There's still a bit to go. Okay, so this part's going to be a bit harder to tell without details, due to personal reasons, but a few months after I visited the store, I still had an interest. I was looking at 40k games to buy, I was continuing to watch videos on Warhammer, but then something happened, and I just knew it was going to make me feel terrible for a long time, So in a moment, I thought to myself I needed something to distract myself, to keep my mind occupied and not let it run amok, further pushing me down a spiral that is depression. So it just happens, when I had that thought, that the Warhammer store was literally around the corner. So I walked round and picked up a starter box. So yes, I bought the starter box and some paints and tools, and within a day I built my first mini, and there was a sense of creation in putting this little guy together, and that I loved, and soon after I built the rest of them within the same day. Soon I went to a friend's house and played the game for the first time. Well, attempted. We tried our best, but brain smooth, shiny. So many things went over our head. It didn't matter. Me and my friend enjoyed it, and soon I played it with different friends. It was a reason to meet up and to have fun, especially after dealing with COVID, as well as being in a very low place at the time. I very much welcomed that into my life. Soon I painted my first mini, which isn't the best. That doesn't matter though. It should never matter. It still makes me proud. And if you're someone who doesn't want to take that first step into something, Warhammer or not, because deep down you know it won't be a personalised vision of perfect to you, let me just tell you something. Perfection is simply inhuman in my opinion. You just need to be happy that you put effort that led to something you can look at and go, I did that. I do that with my channel. It's small, weird, and probably not that great quality if you ask me, but that doesn't matter. I somehow made over 1,000 people have an interest in this channel, and got many more to simply look at a video, and now that makes me feel so grateful. I wasn't always like that. My insecurities about making videos is another reason why I stopped. It wasn't perfect, and it bothered me so much over small things and things that could definitely be improved on. There's that voice in your head putting you down that's the hardest not to listen to. And it's not been easy. I still do it from time to time, but I try my darndest not to. I think we should take pride in anything we create. It's one of the more beautiful aspects of us as humans. Creation, and those creations having an effect on others. To convey emotions, movement, feelings. If you take anything away from this video, let it be this. Take that step. Whether it's back into something old, or something completely new. Just try the hardest you can. Because it won't be perfect, and you may not like it, or you may not think it's good, but if you can see effort, for however little or big, that's something to appreciate, and learn from. Learning is growth, and a tool I never knew was so powerful until only recently in my life. Mistakes and triumphs, there's always something to learn, but first you have to take that step, so take it. I then painted the rest, and felt an extreme unique happiness seeing them all there, painted. It's a feeling you get when I, or even you, look at something you did creatively. And believe me, it's good. It's not perfect, but like I've already rambled about, nothing we ever create ever is. It might be weird, or there might be mistakes, and so on, but I put my creative effort into that, and I'm proud of it, and it's only really something yourself can provide. The next big question for me was, what army shall I pick? I thought to myself, which one I found the coolest? Even going back to the video that made me trip down this grim dark rabbit hole, and I decided. Was it one of the many Space Marine chapters, loyal to the Emperor until tax season comes? No. Was it the Guard, with the regular man and woman facing the horrors of the galaxy, with a gun held high and their bayonet sharp, about to get punched by a 7-foot green British man? No. Would it be the Mechanicus, loyal followers of the Machine God, who I fully understand when my PC crashes and I am not sure if I've saved, and I start praying? No. Would it be the immovable zealots of the Sisters of Battle, literally using faith as a fucking weapon? No. I said no to the Imperium of Man. What about the powers of Chaos? Would I play as the demons of the Dark Gods? No, please stay away from me, especially you. Hey, stay. Sorry, no Chaos tonight. So, the Xenos. But which one? The Eldar? The old and no else on this channel, especially yous. What about the hordes of orcs or Tyranids? I was thinking of them. I like orcs because everybody does. The bugs seem cool to me, with their constant evolution and coming out with the galaxy. Very cosmic horror, but not them. I saw one that I found looked cool, whose lore I very much enjoyed listening to, and that army was going to be my first army to collect, and that army was the Necrons. What did you think I was going to say? The Necrons. Something about their futuristic yet ancient look to them. They're all undead Egyptian space robots that fought gods and enslaved the very gods that cursed them with their soulless metal husk. I just like the Necrons. I find them neat. I've collected about, just over about 3,600-ish points, with about just over 2,000 of that being painted. Damn. But I wouldn't be a plastic crack addict if I only had one army, of course not. So I learned of another group that roams the galaxy, that spreads fear wherever they go. They no longer have the shackles of the Imperium. Yes, they're Chaos Space Marines, but which ones? Well, as cool as the ones that follow a god look, I didn't go for them sadly. I went for kind of the opposite of worshipping one of the gods. Well, depending on the warband. I went for the Sons of Nostramo, the Night Lords, master of fear and terror, with their schizophrenic dad, Conrad Kurz. They're my second army, and I've collected about just under 1,500 points of them, with about just under 1,000 of them painted. I enjoy their lore, and if you've not listened or read the Night Lords Omnibus, I would highly recommend it. But yeah, that's my video on Warhammer 40,000, and my personal journey into this hobby. Along with a bit of touching on the channel. It is a strange video from my others, but one I wanted to make. And I just want to thank anyone who stuck around with this one, and to everyone who supports this little adventure of mine. And thanks to all my friends and people who've helped me through these times. It would be much harder without them. And who knows, I might make a new video in 2025, the year of Black Ops 2. But if you have any video ideas you'd like to see, please make a suggestion in the comments. I'd like to have new ideas join my already existing ones. So if it's more 40k, or a topic you think I might like covering, or a different type of video entirely, please, I encourage you to share. I could always go back to making TNO videos. I know I left that one unfinished sadly, and I did enjoy making them. But it's hard to put a lot of time and effort into a project that can easily have its lore changed in less than a few months. But I'm open for all suggestions. I hope this is a new beginning, and I hope to see you guys in whatever the future presents.